All right. Hello, 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 my beautiful sunshines out there. I want to say, first of all, thank you very much for tuning in to Life of Sunshine on Wheels. Of course, it's your girl, Shayna, and today we have a very, very, very important topic that needs to be shared as well as help educate us on this topic, as well as we have two very, very, very lovely people here that is willing to help educate us on this topic because I've learned that this is the new normal. I don't know what that means, but it's the new normal. I learned that in February of 2022. It's the new normal of being in an interable relationship. And without further ado, we have Miss Jamie and Mr. Kevin.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello, 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 you guys. How are you all feeling?
We are great.
I'm all right.
You
I mean,
sure? Are you
a
sure,
little,
Kevin?
little early to start drinking.
Oh,
But but guess what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so you can do it.
somewhere.
It's
Yeah,
five somewhere, so technically
yeah.
you can do it. But I want to first say thank you all for joining me in this new thing they call the new normal, interable relationships. Now I didn't know what an interable relationship was. I just thought you're in a relationship and that's it. But I guess it's more to it. But I've
Yeah.
learned, well, their definition of an interable relationship is when you're with a partner, one may not be an able body while the other is an able body. And I'm like, oh, okay, but
Yeah.
why? So, what are you two? What are y'all intake on this interable thing here?
I
Uh,
I mean, if that's what they
I
call it,
feel like
then
I've been stereotyped.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain more, share more. Why do you feel that way?
Well, why do they have to define every category of relationship? Why can't it just be what it is?
Ha ha.
You
Thank
know?
you.
mhm.
It's like, oh, it can't be real. It is. Oh, that is just that, and that is that over there, and that's right next to the mason jar there. That's got the moonshine over there from Tennessee. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but
No, but like seriously, what? How? Why?
yeah,
Why? I mean,
why
it's not that complicated.
right, why do we have to label it? But and you named it or you explained it exactly as what the definition is, where one person in the
Yeah.
relationship has a disability. That would be me. I have
Oh,
muscular dystrophy and
well,
utilize a power wheelchair, and
Right.
Kevin does not. He's 6'4".
yeah,
I lovingly call him a floor walker.
I
You
do a
know,
lot of that. Yeah, it's because
Well,
I
that's
just.
cool. I like it. I like it a lot. But it
Uh-huh.
bothers me because with this new label here, I thought if we're all human, right? I mean, you all are breathing, you all are human. Why does it matter if it has to be a label put on a relationship that you all had together?
I,
Well, I mean, you kind of feel a little bit like an insect, like they're looking at you from inside of a jar. They're like, "What is this specimen? This is an
Mhm.
interabled relationship,"
well, and
and they're like, "Wow, this is pretty good.
with
Tell
that,
me about it."
with that, there comes a lot of questions.
Yes.
Yeah,
Then
yeah, there are.
is it real? Would he really be with somebody like her?
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
Well, I'm
like,
kind of stuck on Jamie, so I mean, by now I think they should know. I mean,
yeah.
Exactly. So how long have you been together, you two?
since 2013.
Oh yeah. He's sorry, Jamie. He's stuck on you.
He's stuck on me. I just can't seem to shake him?
I mean, hey, there you
Right?
go. You had that magnetic, drawer, and you just,
Yeah.
and that's a wonderful thing. But have you all ever experienced any like discrimination or maybe looks because you're in a wheelchair, he's an able bodied person? Have you all experienced that? of
You
any
know,
sort?
Not really.
that's a
No.
funny thing because I follow a lot of interabled couples online, and I always hear the stories of the questioning again, is it real, is it is that just his caregiver or whatever. And Kevin and I have never experienced it. Everybody is just accepted. Nobody's ever said to me, oh, is that your caregiver, is that your brother or your cousin, or
I
like,
don't look nothing like you,
no.
Jamie.
But we've never had that, and I don't understand though why other interabled couples
Yes.
do. I don't get it. I don't know what makes Kevin and I different.
Well, it's probably because we're more naturalized. You know,
I don't know.
it's
I
Oh,
just
don't have
like
the answer.
we just kind of like I don't know, we're just ourselves,
We
and
just
people
are.
are their selves, and
and
that's
it, I
that.
mean, or maybe for you too, it just falls and it's just natural. It just flows. And I guess others can see that, hey, we're in a relationship. We love each other. I don't look at the fact that she's in a wheelchair. I don't look at the fact that he's an able body and he's very tall. We're just two normal people that love each other, basically.
Right. Right. That's exactly
Really
it.
tall. That's funny. You
Hmm.
are kind of short, Jamie.
Well,
I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, when you all started dating, did you all have any fears or challenges within you yourselves? Maybe because my son, although I'm not in a relationship with him, he said, well, mommy, do you think others may think, am I going to break her? Is she's going to hurt or anything like that? I mean, did you all have any fears while, starting this new journey together?
I mean, from my aspect, no. I have never, not that I wouldn't,
Hmm.
but I have never dated, or I'm divorced. I've never been in a relationship with a disabled person. So I've
Okay.
always
Been a.
been with able-bodied people.
Hmm.
So but I don't know. I mean, Kevin, what about you? Did you
Yeah,
see?
Kevin, did you have any fears or challenges, jumping into
Well,
this new thing with Jamie?
it was like a learning curve, but she walked me, talked me through it. And, I think that when you like somebody, you're going to want to like feel like, you want to be helpful and
Hmm.
be around that person. So the longer you're around that person, you're gonna learn some things, and you just go from there. I mean, you can't like be in these types of relationships if you're not willing to learn your partner
Right.
and
I
to
mean, any
not be
relationship.
helpful, because you really can't be a couch potato kind of guy if your chick is in a wheelchair. It
So
just
you got to
doesn't
be
work.
moved. You got to be quick, huh? You got to be.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, you have to, well, yeah, I mean, you got to pay a lot of attention to your, you know,
To your
your
partner.
partner, because, she might all of a sudden, like,
Slide
shift in
over.
the chair and you have to put her in the right spot, you
See,
know?
and I love this. I love the way how Kevin, Jamie had to educate you on her. Is that
Right.
possible? Is that
She's
something you
very
dislike?
instructional,
Yeah, I'll be like, "Hey," and
She teaches travel,
I
so.
well, and I mean, I do. This is just life for me. I need help with certain things, whether it's Kevin or otherwise.
Hmm.
So, if he is going to be my partner and help me, with certain daily living skills or whatnot, I need to show him how to do it, and
Hmm.
also show him how to do it safely, so he nor I get hurt. You
There
know,
you go.
so but we also normalize it. I told him from the very, very beginning, as long as you don't make a big deal out of this,
It's
it doesn't become a big deal. This is just our life, you
right.
know. So as long as you just treat it as our normal,
Yeah,
then
Hmm.
it is normal.
you just gotta
Right.
watch out for curious little kids that want to run up there and play with your joystick.
Play with my joystick. Yes.
Yeah, watch out for those little boys.
He didn't get the toy, you
Look,
know.
mom, and they just grab it, and shh, and you're like, wow.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Well, I like the fact that you all had, Kevin, you had to educate Kevin, and maybe you had to learn some things, but from Kevin. But I really love how Kevin was willing to take the time out to get to learn you, if I could say that, or to get to
Yeah.
know you, and also to get to know and look and see, hey, something's not right with Jamie. If she's going to too far to the right, I know I got to bring her back to the left. And he
Yeah.
Ah,
I
gotta
mean,
keep her moderately balanced.
That's right.
there you go. And I love the fact that he doesn't seem like, now, Kevin,
Yeah.
do you feel like, or did you ever feel like it was a burden? Because I read an article and it stated that some that are in the relationships that, this interable thing here,
Mm-hmm.
some may feel as though that they don't want to be in a relationship because it may make them feel like it's a burden. Like if that person that's disabled, living with a disability, may not want to be in a relationship because he or she may feel like they're going to be a burden to their partner. Do you feel that way? Have you all ever came across that path where,
Well, you see, Jamie and I, we have a lot of like fun dynamic in our
Mhm,
interactments. So like, sometimes you might feel put out, like when you're trying to run off to work and you gotta get her in the right, positioning so she
right,
can start her day. And if you oversleep, that could be kind of, you might feel that way, but like you just like you the type of person that you're looking for, you gotta kind of really enjoy being with them.
mhm,
And some people, like in their relationships, they find emotional connections, which is good. I mean, you get strong emotional bonds,
right,
but there has to be a little bit more than just emotion, because when the drama takes off, you kind of like, you gotta kind of like enjoy it, because like, you know if you're together with the wrong reasons, usually you leave people where you find them.
uh-huh,
And so like meeting Jamie, I really didn't have a whole lot of expectations. I just thought she was a lot of fun, and I wanted to be around her. And next thing you know, it's like, whoa, where'd this come from? You know, she was very door challenged when I
Surprise.
met her, and then
Yeah,
you know,
we met at work,
yeah,
okay,
at the
and
job,
I needed help getting into my office.
mhm,
yeah,
And Kevin opened the door for me. That's why he said I was door
she was
challenged.
door
So
challenged,
that's
yeah.
literally how I met him.
And then
Was
and then she was also tall challenged, because I had to lift these packs of like paper all the way off
yeah,
from
can you reach
shelving.
that?
Yeah, but when you're tall like me, I'm like 6'4". People are like,
awesome,
well, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? So, when you're tall, it's really, you don't think much about helping
right,
out somebody, because you're helping a lot of people ordinarily.
right.
So, I mean, it's just a different application of the willingness to help you. Oh, I'm in trouble.
What?
No, don't, please don't,
Did
please
you
don't
see
hit
her
him.
face? And she's like,
No, please. Oh, oh.
No, no,
she's
no,
like,
no.
But I'm glad that
well,
Kevin,
you
No,
got you
no,
gotta
no.
kind of like you gotta kind of like be used to like people asking you for help once in a
You
while,
do.
and
yes,
sometimes when you get into something tedious, it could be kind of like, what, like right now? Are you serious right now? It's like, you just do it, and you just goof around the whole time you're doing it, and
But
you
I
know,
think he has a really good point that I would be surprised if for anybody who is in a relationship like ours, for the able-bodied person
hmm,
to never say that it can be overwhelming at times,
right,
you know? Because if Kevin say is sick, he has a cold, I still need help.
Yeah, that's a
You
blessing.
Right.
I
know,
don't get
like
sick very
I
often,
no,
so
thank
that's
God,
yeah,
neither of us do.
yeah.
Good.
But it's just there's, you know, I'm never not going to need help. Or, if we have a disagreement and maybe I'm not your favorite person right now, or vice versa. I still need you to help me get into bed or what,
You gotta
uh,
reconcile fast.
yeah, we don't
Real quick.
we don't stay mad very long for sure.
Yeah. Well,
That's
it's just one of those weird subconscious loving things you do. You just
Yeah.
work your way through it, and you don't really think much about it.
right.
And, but our relationship dynamic's been really like, kind of similar to how her parents get along. Like
Mhm.
they crack jokes all the time, and
Yeah.
make fun of one another. And Jamie loves to laugh, so she
Oh
could
yes.
take a joke or two, and I get picked on too, but it doesn't traumatize me. It just
No.
I love this. I love this cool, calm. You all love each other. You can see that very clearly. He's not worried about your situation. You're not worried about his situation.
mm-mm.
You all help one another because
Yeah.
trust me, everybody needs help, whether you're an able bodied person or not.
Hmm.
Somebody needs some type of help. And it doesn't bother you at all. And I love
No,
that.
usually it doesn't bother me.
I mean, but we're human. Sometimes things happen. But I love the fact that you are willing to be there for Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, it's just thoughtless. You just like I'm hanging out with my best friend all day long. I
Right.
mean,
And
the
guess
world is a terrible place to go out and work in. And then when you come home and you shut the door on the world, and then you're with your best pal, that's the best thing in the world.
what? Aw,
You know,
Jamie
I
and
mean,
Kevin, I'm going to need a book because you're all going to have to write this book, okay? Because,
Right?
yeah, I'm going to need a book on this because not only the interable people need to hear this, but these
Mhm.
regular relationships need to hear this.
Yeah.
they're probably trying too hard. You
I
know,
don't get it. I
Mm-mm.
don't know. And I
you
mean,
just it's just one of those things that's just it's there. You just you get the people that like overthink stuff, and
mhm.
you know, um, and then they dress a certain way, or they try to build their friend base, and they're all frenemies and stuff. And come to
Yeah,
find out, it's like they're not really living a life that's happy.
right.
And it's constant drama and missed expectations. Well, it's really weird with Jamie and I, because like we typically, I don't want to say it like this, but like the expectation is just spontaneous, and it's just we do things that a lot of people probably wouldn't want to jump into. But it's
I'm
just
scared. I don't know what he's talking about.
like your zip lining stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Her dad kind of like freaked out, and then the air balloon, that was
A
really
hot air balloon
yeah, that
ride.
guy grabbed his heart so fast, and it was one of the safest things that we did.
Okay.
But 600 feet in the air was like too much for her dad, and he's all like,
What did you do?
"Where did
How
you get my daughter?" And she was safe the whole time.
Well, it's funny because we go to theme parks and
right?
I have to be very, very careful with like roller coaster or just
Yes.
a little rougher
Yes.
rides because as Kevin was demonstrating, like I don't have a lot of upper body strength.
Right.
So,
There's
you
some
know,
roller coasters that could probably kill
oh yeah,
you,
like no, but we have
So
been
you want to
on.
go first and then see how it is, and then take her
Yes, but we have been on
I love
multiple
that.
rides. Yeah,
yeah, you have to take it for a test ride.
yeah, we've been on multiple rides where, Kevin is physically lifting me onto the ride,
Okay.
physically taking me off of the ride,
Right.
obviously, and holding me, like securing my chest or whatnot while we're on.
Yeah,
And we have
yeah.
had women come up and we're like, oh, like crying,
Yeah,
literal tears,
yeah,
crying.
it was
This is the
touching, I
most
think, too.
beautiful
See?
relationship. You know,
Exactly.
like I
Yeah,
mean,
it's really.
it's so sweet.
I
And
love
Kevin's turning
Oh
every
man.
shade of red,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
it puts you on notice, and then, it's just really, like, wow, everybody's watching
But
me.
what did the
you
last
know,
lady say to you? Like,
that she came up to us in the gift store, and said that more people need to see
need to
that,
see it.
and
Yeah.
keep it up, and I made sure I affirmed that this is my Jamie, this is my woman, and we're together, and
Yeah.
that's
We're
all there
not just
is to it.
friends,
and
you know.
and nothing's gonna happen to her, and so I guess it kind of looks kind of like I'm a hero kind of thing,
Aw.
and it's not
Oh,
the image I was trying for.
right. But I mean, it fits you, so go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people they gotta need a little help along the way. You just pick them up, and you get more out of life when you elevate people, instead of
Yeah,
trying to put them down, and that way all the gold shines through.
right.
You know.
Well, we've also had, able-bodied couples where both are able-bodied and they'll see Kevin, pick me up, help me onto a ride or whatnot.
Uh huh.
And you can
Oh
almost
yeah,
see like the
yeah,
daggers
yeah.
coming out of
Why
it.
don't you do
Yeah,
that for
why don't
me?
you help
Oh,
me?
yeah. There was this doc. No, it was a dentist office in Tampa. It wasn't ADA compliant. He had the
No.
disability space. Uh,
Okay.
got in there. The door opened automatically. Beautiful. No elevator.
The
Two.
dentist is on the
Yeah,
second floor.
2 flights of stairs. I had to park her chair back in the van and carry her up two
Oh,
flights of stairs.
you
And then when
see,
I got there, there was all apologies, from the staff, and they were all like, as sweet as they could possibly be with all their patients in the lobby, and then the women were looking dirty at their guys, and
Like,
I was feeling really horrible because I was that guy. It's like their day was perfectly fine until I
until
came
you
through that
arrived.
door,
and then,
Carrie and Jamie, and then they're all like, "Oh,
You made
yeah,
it look so
Kevin,
what have
bad.
you done for me lately,
yeah,
Mister?"
yeah, Kevin
You
showed them
know,
all up.
I wasn't trying to. It's just like, I mean, they put me in a situation, so I had to get you there. So,
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it. You're Superman, Kevin. You had the S on
uh,
your chest. You got your cape on.
okay.
You're willing to carry your woman
Oh.
up 2 flights of stairs so she can make her dental appointment and make all the other guys look bad. I love
Right.
it.
Yeah, I did. I just sorry guys.
Yeah.
They'll
Wasn't
live.
trying for it.
They'll live. They'll live. See, once again, I think Kevin and Jamie need a book on relationships. You see how this works hand in hand? I
Mm-hmm.
think you all need to do a book. You have to
There you
educate
go.
Oh boy.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean it's just really it's not a big deal. It's just, moving towards something we like to do, and we do it together. We do a lot of stuff together. We spend most of our time together,
together.
And some people, however they come together, they drive each other nuts.
Hmm.
We do get a little cuckoo sometimes when we have overexposures of one another, but that's what doors inside the house are for, and you can't close it though because Jamie's door challenged.
Yeah, like Kevin, let me out.
So you
No,
gotta leave it so she can bump her way through.
this.
But
Oh,
fights don't last long. I mean,
No.
or not like physical fights. They're
Oh,
always
never.
oh no, of
just
course
No.
not.
words.
But I mean, you are a couple. You're in a relationship, and sometimes you have your good days and your bad days. You just can't shut the door on Jamie. And
No,
Jamie,
you can't. You can't latch the door on
there
Jamie.
you go. That's it. And when Jamie gets
That
upset,
would be really cruel.
yes, you can't do that to Jamie. And when she gets
No,
Mm-mm.
upset,
no.
you all just go and cool off. That is what
Yeah.
the normal thing to do. Some do,
Right.
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
you would think so. That's a
yeah.
hard thing for a lot of folks. They they're working on their score sheet. They want to be on top of the situation, but in a relationship, it's not like that.
Right.
You don't exert your dominance on your
On
partner.
your
You know,
partner.
it's just
And
it's like stock market fluctuations.
you go up, you
You're in
go
it for the
down.
long haul.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Jamie, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
What, besides you not being able to open up the door at work when you two first met, and Kevin being so tall he can reach things for you, what else draw you to Kevin? What makes you want to say, "Wow, I got a good one here"?
Yeah,
Well,
Jamie, what?
no, okay, right?
Tell me. Wait, hold on. Let me get my earring.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to hear it too,
All right,
Kevin.
let's hear it.
Right. Now,
Let's hear it.
Kevin, I mean, firstly,
I've been waiting for this
he,
all day.
he just
Good.
he just makes me laugh all the time, and he has one of the biggest hearts. I mean, not just for me, just period. He has one of the biggest hearts. He will help anyone that he can.
Hmm.
I mean, I just love everything about him, truly. The more that I learned about
Wait,
him,
hold on.
yes.
Oh, you're talking about me.
Yes.
Oh,
you know,
because there's like nobody else in the room.
no. But truly,
Nah, I'm playing. I'm all right.
everything that I learned about Kevin, the more interaction we had together, I just saw so many similarities between us. Again, we're always laughing, always had a
I
great
bet.
time. I mean, I coming out of a very abusive marriage. I mean,
Mhm.
physically, emotionally, mentally. When I met Kevin, I was not at all looking for
A relationship.
somebody. I just needed some me time,
Right.
and they always say when you're not looking for it, that's when it happens.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah, when you're
just,
not paying attention, you walk into stuff
but the funny thing
or
is,
roll into stuff.
yeah,
Roll.
However you get there.
yeah.
Yeah,
But the funny
exactly.
thing, the day that I met Kevin and he unlocked my door for me, don't ask me why. I have no idea why. But he and I started talking. And I mean, Kevin literally was a perfect stranger. He usually worked night shift at our job. I did not. So, I
Mm.
really never had come
She
in
was in her
contact.
she was in her safe place because
Yeah.
she didn't want to be around the monster.
But I started sharing with this perfect stranger
Mhm.
about my
Wait, can you
past
say that
relationship.
again?
What?
What did you say? The what stranger?
The perfect stranger.
Oh,
But I was
okay.
just sharing with
I'm
him.
liking this interview.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of
Oh.
kudos here.
Right. But just like, why am I telling this guy all of these things? And he was sharing things of
Yeah,
past
she just like
relationships with
unloaded.
me.
Like, here's my
It was
life, and it's like
crazy.
what?
Yeah.
It's
You
like I
know,
opened the key to her
but
heart.
then not
Besides
long
the door.
after, right,
Yeah.
after he left, I'm thinking, I'm never going to see this guy again. Like, well, not never again, but like the chances of me running into him, I thought he was cute and, all of this. And I'm thinking, how am I going to talk to him again?
Uh-huh.
And I had asked our front desk what his last name was. And because then I thought, oh, well, maybe I can find him on Facebook. Kevin's not on Facebook. So that didn't
The
go
only
very far.
social media I have is with Jamie. So
Right. Yeah. But then out of the blue, Kevin called my office
Hmm. Dun,
and
dun, dun, dun.
asked, and I like this part. He asked if it would, he didn't ask for my number. He asked if it would be appropriate to give me his. And
I'm
I
liking this,
said,
Kevin.
absolutely. And I will give you mine as well. And then we just started texting and
you you for
talking.
you forgot to tell him that you invited me in your office to have a gummy worm.
I
you went
reeled him
fishing
in.
for your man, and they're using gummy worms for bait, and they were the delicious sour
The
kind.
sour gummy worms. I love the
Yeah,
sour
always candy on
gummies.
her desk.
I'm
Yeah.
loving this.
Right?
Hey, it was really good. And, it's
Like,
just
oh,
next
this.
thing you know, we're having lunch, and next thing you know, we're having our lunch in restaurants and our dinners. And
Mm.
next thing Jamie invites me over, and
Next thing you know, we're
I
living
don't know
together. I
how,
mean,
it just happened. It's
It
just
just
boom.
happened.
It's like, I mean, it just things just compound and build in time. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, Kevin, I have a
right?
question for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun, dun. I mean, you see this sexy chick in her chair rolling. You know,
hello.
yeah.
sexy. Hello. She's sexy. And of course, she just have a little door problem, but that's not a problem at all. She's still sexy in her chair. Kevin, what drew you to Jamie? What made you want to take that step to call Jamie and give Jamie your number? Come on, spill the tea, Kevin. What did
Oh,
you?
you want the juicy details?
Mhm.
I just felt like maybe she was reaching out, like emotionally, and wanted to connect. And then I had some things I want to talk about too,
Okay.
because Jamie's very emotionally in tune to people. Um, she's very emotionally intelligent. Kids love her. So,
They
like,
do.
I mean, it's like I was just, lonely, and I was like, I'm kind of curious about her, and and at first I was like thinking, no, no, I shouldn't. Why not? So I just kind of did this back and forth kind of thing,
Uh huh.
and I was the first one to call. I called her, um, and I don't know what I said. It was kind of like more like business oriented, because I was kind of being reserved, because I didn't
Okay.
know the direction that things would go.
Right.
And Jamie was just laughy, giggly, and not so serious. And then it kind of like knocked a huge edge off, the ice. And so I was, feeling
Uh
the
huh.
butterflies and the jitters and all of that. And
Right.
I was in the parking lot just holding onto my cell phone, just thinking, should I hit this call button? And it wasn't easy. It took like a whole like 5 minutes before I actually hit the button,
What?
because I didn't like, I mean, work relationships, a lot of
Sometimes
times they
don't
don't
work
go
out.
well.
Right.
Right.
So I was kind of like, I was on the edge, and I hit the button, and I talked to her, and then I got a text message.
Oh.
Yeah, in a few days. Um, and it was like, wow. It said it was Jamie, and she sent the wrong
I
text,
wasn't supposed to go to Kevin.
and it said, I really, really, really like him. And yeah, I was like,
Oops.
yikes. And I'm like, yikes. Should I run away? I'm like, what? She goes, oh, that wasn't for you. And I'm thinking, like, it's
Oh.
not for me, but it's
It's about
about
you.
me.
Uh-huh.
How do you eavesdrop on a text message? It's like, so like I knew Jamie was fond of me, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready to realize that, even though it was happening. I just, it was kind of like running in the backdrop, and it's like we were doing things, and
Mhm.
and it's like, but like, really, like, wow, like, oh my god, freak out. But yeah, so, and then Jamie was trying to act
I
like
was trying to
she was trying
backpedal.
to backpedal and act
Oh, what you were going to
like,
say,
what are
Jamie? I
you
was
talking
talking about
about?
not friend's pet or something. It
Right,
wasn't
like,
for you. What were you going to say, Jamie?
I don't know, like, this
She was, yeah, she's like, oh, that wasn't for you. I'm like, well, who was it for? Oh, it's just a friend. I'm
it
like,
was for my
who?
girlfriend. We were just talking, you know.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I knew that, now that I realized it,
like, oh, she likes me.
Oh.
well, because it's weird. Because when you're going into a new thing,
Hmm.
a new person, you don't know all that well.
Right.
And Jamie was very social at work, and I was kind of like in the background doing my job, and
Hmm.
like Jamie's always been kind of front and center. So it's like, you know, uh, you wonder like where you fit into all of that,
Right.
So like when the light hits you, and you're not wearing your cool sunglasses, you're, it's like it's a lot of pressure, and then you realize it's no big deal because, well, you've been it's been happening.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, all right.
Let's
Once
go
you get
for it.
past
Let's
that,
do
like,
it.
awareness,
Right.
it's like, and then it's just like it's nothing.
I'm
It's like,
loving this.
yeah, because like, going into things, expecting things from people, a lot of
Right.
times that's where people mess up. They expect things, they
Yeah.
want things from somebody.
Neither of us expected anything out of this.
It's a pleasant
It was
surprise.
just like, oh, that
Yeah,
happened. Okay.
it happened. It really did.
Hmm.
And it was more natural.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it just, there it was. It's like, what? Oh my gosh! Oh, really? Okay. Hey, this isn't bad.
This isn't bad.
It's like,
It
what are we
What?
isn't
having for
bad.
dinner?
It isn't
It's not
bad.
Where do you want to
bad.
go?
It's not bad. It's okay.
Bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's different because, like, trying to make that first move,
Uh-huh.
hit the call button. I'm sure there's some guys out there that are like, yeah, it's just a lady. I'm a ladies' man. Yeah, it's real easy. Watch this. I'm so awesome and macho.
Right.
I'm more fabulous than myself, so nothing can hurt me. I'm not that type of person.
But it's some out there, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Those
lot
are
of.
those short-term kind of people. You want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
Now,
want
before we go any further
to.
in the show,
Yes,
go ahead,
ma'am.
Kevin.
No, he's good.
Yeah, I just said you want to look for quality.
Cook. You can say that again, Kevin. Quality, quality, quality. Yes. We have some sunshines here that have spoken. And we
Oh,
have Miss Cindy who says, hi there.
Well,
hi.
hello.
We have Miss Lena who says, hi there.
Hello,
hi.
Lena.
Also, and then we have Miss Cindy who has a comment here. And she says, people just have to label things. I guess it just makes it easier to understand things. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I think
I
everybody
think
puts labels on it.
it's easier to look at things like this
Hmm.
than it is like
Make it that.
Yeah.
this. Like big. I can't get my other hand in there.
Yes.
Like this. No, it's I don't know if you
Absolutely.
call that like a microcosm or something. I'm
No.
not sure if I'm using the
Very
word.
small thing, and you got to look at it through a magnifying glass. But when people get finished with it, you no longer need a magnifying glass.
Right.
You need blinders because it's so big and difficult.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Nikki who says, hey.
Hey.
And we have Kimberly who says, hello, guys.
Hi,
Well,
Kimberly.
hello.
Awesome. Now, I need some tips, you all, because
Yes.
I love your relationship. I love how Kevin said you can't make everything so serious. I
No, you
love how
can't.
he, yes, And I
It's-
love how Kevin is willing to be there for you and you're willing to be there for Kevin, Jamie. Now,
Mhm.
give us some tips here. Give us some tips that'll get us through because one day I'm going to get a boyfriend, you two.
Yes,
One
oh
hello.
day.
yeah, you will.
Yeah,
You
I'll get
will.
one one day. Don't know when. But I need some I need some
That's
tips
probably
here.
when it'll happen.
I,
Seriously.
I just need some tips here. Can you give us some successful tips when it comes to dating and being in a relationship?
I think period, it's just being honest with each other,
Mhm.
being, open, disability or not, with what your needs are and how you're feeling. I in my previous marriage, because it was not a healthy relationship, or it turned that way
Mhm.
anyway, I was so worried about doing anything and everything just to please him. I
Mhm.
lost myself in that. And that's not good for any relationship. And so, being truthful with your partner of, I like this, I don't like that, finding somebody that you can just totally be yourself with and they accept you. Again, disability or not.
Right.
I think that when you're doing your own thing and it's something that you like to do, um, and you build your sense and structure of world around you, people
Mhm.
have a tendency to gravitate towards you. You know, you become like the center of your universe, and people I think from the outside tend to admire that. More than they do somebody who like tries to over project themselves. They try to promise you a world that they don't have.
Have.
But it's okay to live in other people's universes if they let you in. But
Mhm.
having your own universe going on, where um, some people are obsessive when they meet people,
Mhm.
and you don't have to be. I mean, it happens.
There you
It
go.
happens. And but having the direction that you're going in,
Okay.
and where you're at, um, that's where you find people.
Mhm.
Wherever you're at, not where you would like to go, or
Right.
where have you been? Because where have you been? That's where a lot of people make mistakes. They go back to um, a bad place.
Yes.
So wherever you're at, that's where it's at.
I'm liking this. Kevin, wherever it's at, that's where it's at. Don't look back at the past because sometimes things in the past may not be so great for you to bring into the future. So you got
Right.
to
Mhm.
be careful with that. And then you also got to be honest. You got to communicate. You have to open up and share, educate each other on what you like and what you don't like. And you don't be afraid to ask for help, like opening the door for Jamie.
Right. Well, and
And a jar of gummy worms.
and a jar of gummy worms.
Yeah, the
Have a
sour kind.
jar of sour gummy worms. There you go. But
Telling you.
when you have a disability, and if your partner is at all going to be in, at some points, caregiver role, if you will, you
Okay.
know, you have to, obviously there is no hiding my disability. I
Yeah.
can't hide that I'm in a power chair, or that I need help getting dressed, or, getting in and out of bed. So just being open and honest of, okay, if we are taking this to another level of not just casually dating,
Right.
where those things don't come into play, but if we are really becoming serious, like Kevin and I, and we're living together and we're,
Let me tell you something.
talking marriage and all of that,
You
you know,
have to know how to do hair.
oh, you have to
You
know how to
have
do
to
hair.
because you gotta like you gotta get all the
I
kinks
can't
out
do
and
my
you
hair
gotta roll
myself.
it and
Yes,
so
I can't do my hair myself, and I am extremely picky girl about my hair.
You can say that again.
Okay, and so I'm like, okay, you need to be
But
learning some hair.
but where some people might think that's kind of a hindrance or whatever, it kind of is something that you guys or what we do together, and it
Mhm.
just
It's just our routine. It's just
it's
our
very
day.
it's bonding. It's
Yeah.
not just our
No,
routine.
but I mean, it's just
We do it, but the thing is,
it's
it's like
normal for
it's a
us.
little bit different than like hugging somebody like
Yeah.
goodbye and running off to work, because
Uh-huh.
it's very interpersonal,
Right.
and showering and stuff like that. Everything is incredibly interpersonal. So,
Hmm.
and it's also interpersonally dynamic,
Mhm.
so it's like a forging element in a really strong relationship. And I think people that they don't aren't like that, like maybe they have like a lot of liberties and freedoms to move around and do their own thing.
Right.
I think they're really missing out on a really good aspect an outstanding relationship. I mean, they wouldn't understand it because they're too busy
Busy. Mhm.
doing things.
Hmm.
It's the little things that you do that you vest in together
And
that makes things really really good,
absolutely.
and you can't really miss them. like
No, because they're there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
when somebody needs a little help once in a while, it's
Yeah.
always an opportunity to have that
Hmm.
right where you're at. you know.
Say that again. Oh man. I mean, now Jamie and Kevin, when I do get in a relationship, you all have to be our counselors. You're gonna have to give us therapy. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we're
No
there.
problem. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you both go, is
Hmm.
there any encouraging things you want to say to the able bodied, the non able bodied relationships? What encouraging words you would like to share with us before you leave on
Encouraging
relationships?
words.
On relationships, I would just say, you know, first and foremost, you have to love yourself. You if you are wanting a relationship but you don't love who you are, how
Mhm.
can I love him if I don't love who I am?
Hello.
You know,
Oh, and
so
yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
definitely you get good with yourself.
well,
Mhm.
the thing also too is I used to be really self-critical until I met Jamie, and it's just now, it's like she's always telling me that I look good even though I'm losing quite a bit of hair and all of that, but I don't feel as like me personally self-conscious,
Uh huh.
and in a social setting, I don't feel like weird or like alienated or anything, and um, it's different. You lose your some people are self-critical, and you lose that,
Right.
and it's a good thing if even if you're an able relationship, if you really aren't so, what did that lady call it? She said it was like emotionally, what'd she say? She said couples who aren't emotionally lonely.
Oh.
um,
Wow.
they tend to trust one another,
Uh huh.
and they respect their space, and wherever they go, they have that this with them,
Uh huh.
and
And it shows.
it's yeah, it works on you, um, psychologically and spiritually.
Mhm.
It's when you have two people that have their own objectives and their own
Mhm.
expectations, and they're like, "Hey, I like the same things you do,"
Hmm.
and they come together and they're kind of using each other for all the same things that they want and they like. That's the art of attraction, but
Mhm.
they might be emotionally lonely,
Mhm.
and that's really dangerous because chances are they might cheat.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
I
Hmm.
learned
Absolutely.
something from listening to women.
right. Listen to women.
You have to
Kevin is
listen
on,
to them. You
that's
have
right.
to.
Kevin is on the money. Kevin knows what it's all about.
Right.
You have to listen to
You have
them.
to listen. Absolutely right. And if you hear that, guys, it came from a man's mouth, and Kevin knows of what he's speaking.
Right.
Knows it. That's right. Absolutely. Now, Jamie, before we let you go, and
Mhm.
Kevin, please give out your information so we can reach out to you. Whether give us your traveling information, your social media information, so people can reach out.
Yeah, so we own a accessible travel agency, Adventures by Jamie.
Mhm.
So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, if you look us up at Adventures by Jamie, and then of course adventuresbyjamie.com. There are, especially on YouTube, there's a lot of videos of Kevin and I going on all these crazy adventures, as obviously an interabled couple, and just showing what there is out in the world accessible to do.
Hmm.
So we'd love to have you check us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
wherever
I'll
you're
put
at.
all and I will put all that information in the comment box below so you can reach out to Jamie, check her and Kevin out, their YouTube channel as well as their travel agency. I say thank you all for being a part of the show. Thank you for
Oh, you're welcome.
educating
Thanks for
me.
having us.
Yes, I want to say thank you for educating me, giving me the knowledge to know what I need to look forward to when I get in a relationship. And then I'm going to call you, and we're going to have to set up some pricing because I'm going to need to have some long talks.
Oh
All right.
man.
I'm going to need some long talks with you all. So we got to set up pricing for that.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe Mike can add that to the belt.
Right?
Relationship therapy.
Relationship counseling. There you
it's
go.
important not to be emotionally lonely and work together, stay together, and
Mhm.
share
And
in the littlest of things, even if it is combing your woman's hair.
yeah,
Or
combing your woman's hair.
well, yeah, because that's a big deal.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're committed if you're doing your lady's hair. I mean, like,
I'm loving this.
did she
Oh,
let you touch her hair?
Right.
you're in. You're in now. If you can touch it, you're in. Yeah, you're stuck. You're stuck.
Right. You're stuck now. Mm-mm.
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure talking with you both. And once again, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you all be great and be safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.
All
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 right.
right. Bye.
Bye.
right.
All right, my beautiful sunshines. I hope you all enjoyed the show today. This interable relationship. Just a little chat. I want to say thank you all for tuning in. I want to tell you all, if you haven't done so, please go to YouTube and like my channel, Life of Sunshine on Wheels, with a Z, not a S. Once again, I want to thank Jamie and Kevin for being a part of the show today, as well as you, my sunshines, for your support and your love. I'll be back soon. You all be blessed and be safe. Have a great one. Bye.